As summer winds down, September might feel like the end of the gardening season, but in reality, it's the perfect time to keep things growing. Cooler temperatures and shorter days create ideal conditions for a fresh wave of crops, many of which actually thrive better now than they do in the heat of summer. By planting the right vegetables this month, you can enjoy crisp greens, hearty roots, and even late harvests that carry you well into fall. In this video, we'll share 10 of the best crops to plant in September. Easy, productive choices that let you extend your harvest and make the most of your garden before winter arrives. First of all, let's talk about spinach. This hardy, leafy green is one of the smartest crops you can sow in September because it thrives as temperatures drop into the 50s and 60s. Spinach seeds germinate best in cool, moist soil, and they can be direct sown right where you want them to grow. No transplanting required. Within 3 to 4 weeks, you'll have baby leaves ready to harvest. And if you let them grow longer, they'll form larger, crinkled leaves, perfect for cooking. The plant prefers full sun in fall, but will also tolerate partial shade, which makes it flexible for smaller gardens with less daylight. What really makes spinach valuable for fall planting is its cold tolerance and repeated harvest potential. Once established, it can handle light frosts, and cooler nights actually improve its flavor, making the leaves sweeter and less bitter. If you harvest the outer leaves regularly, the plant keeps producing, giving you multiple pickings from the same patch. Spinach also enriches your kitchen with versatility. It's equally good raw in salads, sautéed with garlic, or blended into smoothies. Add a layer of mulch and your plants will stay healthy well into late autumn, giving you a steady supply of fresh greens long after most summer crops have faded away. Hardy in USDA zones 3 through 9, with overwintering possible in zones 6 through 8 under protection. Next up, we've got kale, a powerhouse green that only gets better when the air turns crisp. Unlike many summer vegetables that fade in September, kale thrives as temperatures cool and will happily grow right through fall. Sow seeds directly into the garden or set out transplants for a quicker harvest, spacing them about a foot apart so the leaves have room to spread. The plants are tough and adaptable, doing well in both raised beds and containers, and they can handle a wide range of soils, as long as it's well drained. Within a few weeks, you'll be picking young leaves for salads, while the mature foliage adds texture and depth to hearty soups and sautés. What makes kale especially rewarding is its cold tolerance. In fact, a light frost doesn't hurt it at all. Instead, it concentrates the sugars in the leaves, giving them a sweeter, milder flavor. With regular harvesting, kale will keep sending out fresh growth, giving you a steady supply of greens deep into autumn. Add a layer of mulch around the base to conserve moisture and protect the roots as nights get colder. Whether you're after curly kale, dinosaur kale, or red Russian varieties, this crop brings both nutrition and resilience to your September garden. Hardy in USDA zones 4 through 9, and with protection, many types can overwinter in zones 6 through 8. Coming in next, lettuce is a classic fall crop that shines in September because it grows fast and delivers harvest after harvest. Unlike in the heat of summer, when lettuce tends to bolt and turn bitter, cooler weather keeps the leaves tender and sweet. You can direct sow seeds in shallow rows or sprinkle them into containers for a cut-and-come-again harvest style. In just 3 to 4 weeks, baby leaves are ready to pick, while heads will mature a bit later, giving you a continuous supply. With countless varieties, romaine, butterhead, oak leaf, or loose leaf, you can mix different colors and textures for both beauty in the garden and variety on the plate. What gardeners love about lettuce is how little space it needs and how quickly it rewards you. Even a small patch or a window box can produce plenty of greens for daily salads. Successive sowing every 2 weeks ensures a steady flow of fresh leaves well into late autumn. Add a little mulch to keep the soil cool and moist, and use row covers to extend the season if nights dip lower than expected. Whether you like crunchy romaine hearts or soft butterhead leaves, lettuce is one of the easiest and most satisfying crops for September planting. Hardy in USDA zones 4 through 9, with fall harvests possible in zones 3 through 10 depending on frost protection. Now let's move to radishes, one of the quickest and most rewarding crops you can plant in September. These little root veggies thrive in the cool, moist soil of early fall, and they mature in as little as 3 to 4 weeks. Direct sow the seeds about half an inch deep. Thin them to give roots room to expand, and you'll soon see bright red, pink, or even purple globes forming underground. Radishes don't demand much space, so you can tuck them into garden beds, raised boxes, or even squeeze them between slower crops as a fast filler. Their crisp, peppery bite adds freshness to salads, tacos, and stir-fries at a time when summer produce is winding down. What makes radishes perfect for September is their reliability and speed. Because they grow so quickly, you can succession sow every couple of weeks to keep the harvest going well into fall. Cooler weather keeps them from turning woody or overly spicy, giving you tender, flavorful roots every time. Plus, the leafy tops are edible too. Sauté them with garlic for a bonus crop. Add a little mulch for steady moisture, and your radishes will stay crisp and juicy. For gardeners who want an almost instant reward, radishes are the go-to crop this month. Hardy in USDA zones 2 through 10, tolerating light frosts and thriving best in the cool shoulder seasons. Next on the list, carrots are a root crop that absolutely love being planted in September. Cooler soil helps them grow sweeter as the natural starches in the roots turn to sugar once temperatures begin to dip. Direct sow the tiny seeds about a 1/4 inch deep in loose, well-drained soil and keep the surface consistently moist until seedlings emerge. Thin them carefully so each root has space to develop, and within 2 to 3 months you'll have crisp, colorful carrots ready to pull. With varieties ranging from classic orange to purple, red, and yellow, carrots bring both flavor and beauty to the fall garden. What makes carrots perfect for September is their ability to handle cold weather with ease. In fact, many gardeners say the flavor is at its best after a touch of frost, when the roots turn extra sweet and crunchy. Mulching the soil not only keeps weeds down, but also insulates the crop, allowing you to harvest well into late fall. Carrots store beautifully in the ground, so you can pull them as needed rather than all at once. Whether roasted, steamed, or eaten raw straight from the garden, they're a versatile, nutrient-rich crop that pays off big for the little effort they require. Hardy in USDA zones 3 through 9, with frost improving flavor and roots able to overwinter under mulch in milder regions. Coming up next, beets are a double-duty crop that give you both nutrient-rich greens and colorful roots in one planting. September is an excellent time to sow them, since cooler temperatures keep the greens tender and help the roots develop with a sweeter flavor. Direct sow the seeds about half an inch deep in loose, well-drained soil, spacing them a few inches apart so the bulbs can swell properly. In just 4 to 6 weeks, you can start harvesting baby greens, while the roots take a little longer to mature. With varieties in deep red, golden, or even candy-striped patterns, beets bring both nutrition and visual appeal to your garden and table. What makes beets stand out for fall planting is their adaptability and storage potential. The roots can stay in the soil through light frosts, giving you a flexible harvest window, while the tops can be snipped continuously for cooking greens. Adding a layer of mulch helps regulate soil moisture and keeps roots tender as nights grow colder. Beets also store well after harvest, lasting for months in a cool cellar or refrigerator. Whether you roast them, pickle them, or toss the greens into a stir-fry, beets are a reliable way to extend your harvest deep into autumn. Hardy in USDA zones 2 through 10, tolerating light frosts and thriving best in the cool shoulder seasons. Next on the list is garlic, one of the most rewarding crops to plant in September, even though you won't harvest it until the following summer. Fall planting gives garlic cloves the chance to establish strong roots before winter sets in, which leads to bigger, healthier bulbs next year. Simply break apart a bulb into individual cloves and plant them pointy side up, about 2 inches deep and 6 inches apart in loose, well-drained soil. Cover the bed with a generous layer of mulch, which insulates the cloves through cold weather while also suppressing weeds. The beauty of garlic is how little care it demands once planted. Over the winter, it quietly develops below ground, and come spring, it'll surge with leafy growth. By early summer, you'll not only have flavorful bulbs, but also edible garlic scapes to harvest in late spring. Garlic is a crop that practically takes care of itself once you tuck it in during September, and it rewards you with one of the most essential kitchen staples. Hardy in USDA zones 3 through 8 when planted in fall, though soft neck varieties can be grown in zones 9 through 10 with proper care. Next up, we've got broccoli, a cool season vegetable that thrives when planted in September. Unlike in summer, when heat makes it bolt too quickly, broccoli grows strong and steady in the crisp days of early fall. You can start with nursery transplants for a quicker harvest, or sow seeds directly if your season is mild and long enough. Broccoli loves rich, well-drained soil with plenty of compost, and it needs consistent moisture to form those dense, flavorful heads. With good care, you can expect harvests in 2 to 3 months, right when you're craving hearty, homegrown meals. What gardeners love most about broccoli in fall is how sweet the flavor becomes after a touch of frost. The plants not only give you the main central head, but also keep producing smaller side shoots for weeks after the first cut, extending your harvest well into the season. Mulching around the base helps hold soil moisture and regulate temperature as nights get colder. Plus, broccoli pairs beautifully with other fall crops like carrots, kale, and spinach for both garden design and kitchen use. Hardy in USDA zones 3 to 10, performing best in the cool seasons and tolerating light frosts with ease. Moving along, cabbage is another crop that finds its stride in September planting. This leafy brassica loves the steady coolness of fall and develops into firm, dense heads that are sweeter and more tender than those grown in spring. You can set out sturdy transplants now for faster results, spacing them about 1.5 feet apart to give each plant room to spread. With consistent watering and a soil rich in compost, you'll see strong growth that can carry right into late fall. Whether you prefer green, red, or Savoy types, cabbage is one of the most reliable vegetables to grow this time of year. What makes cabbage such a fall favorite is its durability. It tolerates chilly nights and light frosts, often improving in flavor the colder it gets. Heads store well in the ground until you're ready to harvest, and once picked, they'll last weeks in a cool pantry or fridge. Mulch helps keep the soil moist and protects roots as the season winds down. From coleslaw to hearty soups and braised dishes, cabbage is as versatile in the kitchen as it is dependable in the garden. Hardy in USDA zones 2 through 9, thriving in cool seasons, and tolerating frosts with ease. Finally, let's wrap up with peas, a classic cool season crop that thrives when planted in September. Unlike summer's intense heat, the cooler air of fall encourages steady growth and helps peas set flowers and pods more reliably. Sow seeds directly into the soil, about an inch deep, giving them a simple trellis, fence, or netting to climb. Within a few short weeks, vines will be covered in delicate blossoms that soon turn into crisp pods. Whether you choose sugar snaps, snow peas, or shelling types, peas bring sweetness and freshness right at the tail end of the growing season. The beauty of fall peas is that they make the most of the season's mild temperatures, often producing until hard frost arrives. A layer of mulch helps keep the soil cool and moist, while a lightweight row cover can extend the harvest even longer. As a bonus, peas enrich the soil with nitrogen, preparing your garden beds for next year's crops. Harvest regularly to keep vines productive, and enjoy them raw, stir-fried, or lightly steamed. Hardy in USDA zones 3 through 9, peas tolerate light frosts and are ideal for squeezing in one last harvest before winter. And that wraps up our list of 10 crops you can plant in September to keep the harvest going strong. From quick-growing greens to hardy roots and even long-term staples, these choices take full advantage of the cooler weather and warm soil. Plant them now and you'll enjoy fresh food well into fall while setting the stage for a strong start next spring. With the right crops, September doesn't mark the end of your garden. It's the start of a whole new season of growth.